service. Much better than the flight attendants on MAS or SAS. Sometimes my orange juice isn't chilled. Now those are true stories that devas actually exist, but they only help you when you really need it. I'm sure that the chief reverend here has got many stories of when angels or heavenly beings help you. But one of the stories which is in the folklore or will be in the history books of my temple over in Bodhinyana or in Perth is a few years ago we were holding our 30th anniversary of our Buddhist Society of Western Australia. Now it's really hard work starting Buddhism in a country with hardly any Buddhists whatsoever. 25 years ago I've been there. This was the 30th anniversary since we started our Buddhist Society. For many years there was no monks. And when our president suggested we should do something special, I said, yeah, that's a wonderful thing to do. Let's celebrate the fact that Buddhism has arrived in Australia. You know now over 2.1% of people in Australia are Buddhist. Actually say they're Buddhists, which is a huge number, which is starting from almost zero about 25 years ago. There's a huge increase in the number of people who are following the Buddhist religion. So I decided to say, let's make this a big event. We don't just do it small. We've hired the central place in Perth, Supreme Court Gardens, where like Placido Domingo holds his concerts, and all other famous people give their speeches. And it was the best, most central place in Perth. And so we hire this, and let's make a big occasion of it. We invited all sorts of dignitaries, such as the Premier of Western Australia, Dr. Jeff Gallop, who came along, ambassadors, the press, everybody. We put a huge amount of resources into this. It was going to be on a Waisak night, on a Sunday. It just happened that the Waisak was on a Sunday that day, so everybody could come. A full moon night in May, 30th anniversary. What a wonderful occasion this would be. That morning, it was raining. Heavily. Going up the weather forecast, there was a huge storm coming to Perth. Now I'm sure you know what's going to happen. That we stopped the storm, it didn't rain. But this was not just ordinary rain, not like a sort of a squall coming over Kuala Lumpur. This was a major storm. Later on, the following night, that night, the freeway flooded. I've never seen it flooded before or since. One of the heaviest storms ever to hit Perth was coming that way. It rained from early morning. 3 times the Premier's office called me, are you cancelling? And 3 times I said, no, we're going ahead. They thought I was being stupid. The weather forecast, the barometer was going down. Even one of my supporters, he was a retired merchant seaman who spent his whole life on container ships and other ships, and he had to know the weather because that was important for the safety of his ship. And he took me aside and said, you're being stupid, Ajahn Brahm, but the barometer's falling. I know what's going to happen. It's going to be a violent, heavy storm. And even one of my monks, he came up to me and was saying, look, Ajahn Brahm, it's all right to have faith, but this is not going to work. Stop being stupid. Come on, be rational. Cancel it. But I would not do that. Afterwards, that monk was absolutely silent. He would not speak to me because he was completely embarrassed because it wasn't I one, the day was one. Because it was raining all day. My volunteers were putting out of the Buddha statue and the stalls and everything, getting absolutely drenched and soaked. So I remember being in one of the tents, arranging the seats, and the Burmese girl rushing in with tears streaming down her face. Ajahn Brahm, come out, quick! Come out, quick! It wasn't just the rain had stopped. The clouds had parted. You could see the full Waisak moon. And we held a ceremony. The TV cameras were there. And I always remember that the what's it, it's not a cameraman, the other person doing the commentary, the reporter, she kept on saying into the camera, this is weird, this is weird, this is strange. Because throughout the ceremony there was no rain. There was actually a tiny squall for about a minute, but then it stopped and we could do all of the ceremonies as we wanted.